You need to become the CEO of your trading. Your trading mentality is holding you back, but it's not in the way that you think. In this video, what we're going to talk about is a way to fix that mentality permanently. Now, my name is Evan Scales, and over the past 18 months, I made over $500,000 trading the markets using these strategies and tips that I'm giving out in these videos. I also have a software called nqsignals.com. We've got about 1,100 members, almost 1,200 so far. It's 100% free, and we use AI to spot NASDAQ futures opportunities every single day. Now, here's what you've probably heard so far. All of these cliche things, right? You need to be patient, wait for the right entry, don't overtrade, don't be emotional. It's about risk management, right? Learn to walk away and don't make a bad day worse. You've heard all these things, and they are all vaguely true, but specifically inaccurate. Okay. And what I mean by that is, like, you should be patient and you shouldn't overtrade, but these are just rules that you're told, but you're not actually told exactly what to do. And that's what I want to get away from and into in this video is, what should you specifically do that's going to help your mentality improve so that when you get into a trade, you make less mistakes, you win more money, and you're able to actually grow your account. Let's get into that. This is the alternative way that I think about it. You need to become the CEO of your trading. Now, I'm going to pose a question to you, and the question I think will give you the answer by what I mean by this. So here's the simple question, okay? Does the McDonald's CEO flip burgers? Does the CEO of McDonald's flip burgers? And the answer is obviously no, he does not. But even though he doesn't do it, it still gets done. And they sell over 1 billion burgers or whatever it is, or 1 million burgers a year, right? So he doesn't do it himself. He runs the company. He doesn't do it himself, but it still gets done. All right. And this is how I want you guys to think about your trading when it comes to your trading mentality. Is trading is about leverage, but when we think about mentality, we want to shift that leverage somewhere else. Okay. So instead of thinking about dollars and cents as leverage, I want you to think about systems and pieces as your leverage. Now, I believe there are 3 phases to this, and we're going to go over them one by one, but I want you guys to understand something first before we do. Now, there are 3 phases to this, but I want you to understand Now, there are 3 phases to this, and I want you guys to boil everything down 2 phases because it becomes really easy. Now, there are 3 phases to this, and if we boil everything down to just these 3 different silos, it becomes really easy to fix the things that are broken inside of our trading, okay? I want you guys to understand this. You cannot focus on all things, so you're gonna have to pick your battles, and we'll talk about that as we go on. Phase number 1 is analysis. Before you can take a trade, you have to know what you're looking at. You have to know a framework of, like, hey, price might be going up, it might be going down because of these things. Now, the first question I have to you is, who or what is doing the analysis, okay? Is it you? Are you the one going on your charts looking at support, looking at resistance? Are you looking at different indicators? Do you have different tools outside of your charts that you're looking at? Like, what is going on with the analysis? Who's doing it? And the next question is, well, can we systematize it? Is there a way that we can automatically get this analysis so that we don't have to do all the work? I talked about before, you have to pick your battles. Maybe you want to do all the analysis. That's fine. We'll talk about the next steps and how you can maybe automate some of those. But for the most part, like, with your analysis, are you the one doing it? If so, great. If not, or you don't want to do it, then fine. We need to find something else that can do it for us, okay? And then a low-tech way, let's say you do want to do the analysis, or maybe you want to have something set up so that the analysis is a lot easier, you can add alerts. So a very simple way of doing this, let's go to a trading view really fast here, and let's just add a support and a resistance line. So we'll add a resistance line up there and a support line down here. Now, let's say we were looking at a time frame and we're like, hey, I want to take a trade if price gets up here and hopefully it rejects, I want to sell off of this, or price touches here, I want to buy off of that, right? You kind of have that back and forth. What you'd want to do is you click on the horizontal line, all right? You'd right click it, and if you're on like mobile, I think you just hold it down. You hit add alert here, okay? Just add alert. And then you leave it as crossing, okay? So you get an alert the moment price crosses this line, and then you could do it like only once per bar close. Like, you can do it however you want to do it. So I would just leave it at only once here, and then you can leave it open-ended. You can also name it, so you can give it a message like resistance test or whatever you want to say. You can name it. Okay, and you can go to notifications, all right, and you can have it like send you a push notification, send you an email. These things are very simple. But what you're going to end up doing is, like, again, systematizing your support and your resistance analysis so that when you see price getting to these levels, and you might even want to do one like a little shy, just in case like price gets there a little faster. Like sometimes prices can get all the way to your support or resistance level. Maybe you want to do it a little bit sooner. But once you have that set, it's like, okay, price crossed. I'm now looking for a reversal off of this thing. I'm looking for a short here. Boom, I get that notification. I get that email. I can then now evaluate this thing as a trade, but I don't have to be at my charts all day looking at this and waiting for something to happen. You can do this with indicators as well. It's just really easy to do with your horizontal lines as an example. Phase 2 is the actual entry of the trade, okay? So how are trades being entered? Obviously there's a buy button and a sell button that must get clicked, but like what are you using and what are you looking at to actually enter these trades? The next question is, we talked about analysis already. Now we're at entry. Is there a gap in time between when you look at something and you're analyzing something and a trade is entered? And there could be multiple indicators that you look at or multiple things that you consider, but how wide is that gap between what your analysis says to do and what your entries are? The smaller that gap, the less thinking that you actually have to do about this, the better trader you're going to be, the less you're going to worry about your trades, the less you're going to overtrade. Everything will be matter of a fact, okay? Now, or matter of fact. Now, thinking about like this, can we systematize this? If there is a gap between what you're analyzing and when an entry is, can we systematize that to get it to the point where there is no gap and a trade is just taken? Obviously, like an automated trading bot would be a great solution to this, but you can also just do this like manually as well. We just want to see what is the analysis and then is there an entry? Not, well, the candle is up here, the candle pulled back here, or I'm kind of waiting on this to happen, I'm kind of waiting on that to happen. All these different things become subjective. They look different to somebody else. And what that really means is going to be very difficult for you to have consistency in your trading. Okay, so as an alert, you could do this, and I'll give you an example. So let's just use like the super trends, like maybe you want to go sell up here, but let's just go, oops, wrong button there. Let's go super trend as just an example. It's very easy. We'll add it to our chart, okay? And let's just say we want to trade off of the super trend, which at this kind of day doesn't seem like a bad idea. Now, what we would do is click on our super trend here, click on the 3 dots right there, add alert, and then we want to say super trend buy. We could say super trend direction change if you wanted to, only once per bar, once per minute, whatever. You could just keep adding these alerts, message, super trend change direction, perfect. And then from here, like you might send an email, push notification, whatever. And then when you get a buy signal, maybe you just purchase and you wait, or maybe you get a sell signal, right? And then you sell here and then you just wait for price to kind of do its thing. These are specific ways that you can take your trading from, well, I do all this analysis and then maybe get into a trade, to like analysis, entry, that's it. Phase 3 is the trade management and the exiting of a trade, right? What happens once you click buy? What happens from there? Do you have a trailing stop? Do you have an automatic take profit stop loss? Are you adjusting your stop loss? Are you adjusting your take profit? Like, what is going on once you enter a trade? Because this is a different phase of the trade. Now that you're in the trade, you're locked into either making money or losing money. Those are the only two options that you have. And so what is happening with you? What are you doing while that trade is actually open, okay? Now, the next question is, how active are you during a trade? Me personally, I'm a little more active than I would even like to be, but I'm pretty active in my trades. I'm moving my stop when I see some profit. I want to see big moves. When I get big moves, I'm going to move my stop with it, up or down, whatever it is. I'm pretty active in my trades. I know others of you who are not very active in your trade. You hit buy, you hit sell, and then a take profit and a stop loss is set, and then you just kind of let it work and do its thing. That's up to you. You can do however you'd like, okay? Now, the real question is, like, let's say you don't want to focus on trade management. It's too much, right? This is something I've even considered myself. Like, can I make this hands-free? Like, is there a way that I can take my trading and go from I have to do everything to like maybe I can just set it up to it be done a certain specific way? Or do I have to actively manage it? Maybe I don't do the analysis and I don't really do the entries, but I want to manage my trades, which is kind of me right now. I manage my trades. I don't do any analysis and I don't really do any entries. I just follow the rules of the actual nqsignals.com. So for me, I'm a little bit more active on this. And so one thing that I have worked on or done is added an advanced trade management setup inside of Tradovate to help me with this. So what this looks like in like real time, make sure you guys can see this on my screen. All right. Is you're going to go up to here where it says buy, market, sell, ask right here, ATM off. Click the little gear icon right here. All right. And you can turn it on if you want to. Give it a name. So we'll just go like YouTube video test. All right. Hit OK. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to dollar amount. This is for Tradovate, but you can do this for pretty much any active trading software. It'll have its own name, but this is pretty straightforward. Now, I like my things set and take profit and stop loss. So let's say I click buy or click sell. I'm going to have my take profit at $400 and I'll have my stop loss also at $400, okay? Now, so once I enter a trade, I will have a line above and a line below, and one will be a take profit, one will be a stop loss. All right, once I enter a trade at the even amounts. And what you can also do is if you want to be active, I talked about a trailing stop and moving it around. You can just move your stop up as, in this case would be, let's say we're going long, you can move your stop loss up as price goes up in your favor and then like slide it so that even if price pulls back, you still win the trade. You can do that. Or you can have like an automated something happen for you. So you could have like an auto break even. So what this means is after it says profit trigger, let's just say after $100, I'm going to move my stop to even plus, let's just say 20 bucks, 1 point. Okay. So if price moves up, if I'm up $100 in my trade, my stop loss goes from 400 bucks to 20 bucks profit. And so even if the trade pulls all the way back, I still make some money on that. You can do that. You can do like an auto trail type of thing. So what this means is that once this thing is hit, we'll do the profit trigger first. Let's say again, 100 bucks. My stop loss will then move to $50 as an example. And then my stop will move up every, and then we'll pick a number here. Let's just say it's every 20 bucks. So every point for the NQ futures. So if I'm up $100, my stop loss moves to plus $50. And then every 20 bucks that price moves up in my favor, that this trade goes into profit, I will begin trailing it by $50 each way. Okay, well, 20 bucks more each way. So when I'm in a trade, price will, let's say price is going up, I will have my stop moving along the way so I can capture nice movements without having to deal with price going up, being up a lot, and then price pulling all the way back. I can avoid that. That is my system being active in the trade without me having to do it. So once I click buy, I'm hands off. I trust the system. I trust my analysis. I trust the practice that I put in to say, okay, you know what? I don't need to do anything. The system will take care of itself. I'm going to go do something else. And when I come back, hopefully there's some profit, of course, right? But if there is profit, my stop will move for me. I don't have to touch a single thing. Now we've gotten through all three phases of what CEOing your trading looks like. Now the job for you to do next is to pick one and use systems for everything else, okay? So you can mix and match, I really don't care, but you have analysis, you have entry, and you have trade management, okay? These are the three. What do you want to focus on? And then what can be automated or what can be systematized so that there is no thinking, there's no delay, there's no like lack of confidence, there's nothing that can stop you from getting into these trades or having profit in these trades. So maybe you want to do the analysis, okay? You decide I'm going to do all the analysis myself, no problem. Great. Then once your analysis lines up, okay, then there's an entry and then there's a trade management system already set up in place. So take profit and stop loss, there's a trail, there's whatever you want to be. But once your analysis is correct, you hit enter and then you don't do a single thing. Okay, and a lot of people live in this area. And so I would encourage you to not pick analysis as the thing that you focus on because that's probably what you do already and it's probably not leading to great success. Okay, so I would look at a way of systematizing my analysis so that I know what's going on, but I'm not spending all day in the weeds trying to find these little itty-bitty things that at the end of the day, I'm focusing on too small of a piece and I get blown out of my trades. Now, you could also like focus on your entry. So, which is somewhat of what I do, but if you think about it like this, I have the analysis at nqsignals.com that does all the analysis for me. And then I look at the trade and I go, okay, I'm gonna enter that trade. There's very little thought or time between what the analysis is, what the signals give me, and when I enter a trade. So I guess this is more systematized on my end. Now you could focus on this by like waiting for price to pull back a little bit more or waiting for price to clear that support, that resistance level, whatever it is. But if you're going to systematize your entry, once your analysis is done, the entry is like the very next step. Okay, there's nothing else that you're looking at. There's no other confirmation you're waiting on. You are done. We can talk about building strategies. I have that in a different video that you can watch. But once you've like built this is how I'm going to enter my trades, like that's it. Entry done. Okay, if you're going to systematize it without automating it, then like once you do your analysis, boom, enter, got it. Okay, and then trade management. Maybe you want to go ahead and pick this one, and you'll systematize these other two. But you can move your stop, you can move your trail, you can figure out like different ways, different take profit and stop loss ratios that you want to use while in a trade. If it's going with you, if it's going against you, maybe you need to focus on moving your stop up to protect your capital, whatever you want to do. But you're going to focus on one of these three things to focus on as you, the trader. Everything else is going to be taken care of by something else, okay? Some other software or just some other notification or alert. Like you don't need to be doing all of this because it's taking up your bandwidth and you only have a certain amount of good decisions you can make throughout a day, especially when you're trading, and you don't want to use it up trying to analyze the charts or figuring out when to enter or how to manage your trade. Just pick one of those things to do manually. The rest of them you systematize. Now, I've talked a lot about what to do and how to do it, but here's why we do it, okay? What we're really looking to do is shift responsibility. Okay, we want to shift everything being on your shoulders to being on something or even someone else's shoulders. And what I really mean by this is you want to go from trader to problem solver. Okay, we're no longer going to be looking at charts and trying to figure out like, when should I get in? When should I get out? Like, what should I do if this thing happens or that thing happens? We want to go to like straight up problem solver. And really what I mean by that is if you lose a trade, it's like, okay, which part of my 3 phases let me down? Right? It's not a personal attack on you, like I'm a bad trader or I'm never going to figure this out or I'm horrible at this. It's not that. It's okay, which part of what I just did was it my analysis? Was it my entry? Was it my trade management? Which one of these 3 pieces let me down so that I can then go and fix it, right? I can fix the error and then I can retest. All right. Now, what this does, once you get good at it, once you've had enough practice at it, is it takes trading less about emotions and more about facts. You guys have seen me with my trades. I never really get too upset about losing a trade because I know, like, okay, I either am going to lose because I'm not perfect. That's like a big thing. But the second thing is, okay, one of my systems just kind of failed me and I need to figure out what it is, why it failed me, and then how to adjust it. And then from there, if I adjust it properly, then I have a system that won't take that same loss again, which has been mostly the case. It's how I've gotten better and better and better over the years, right? And I want the same thing for you guys, which is shift the responsibility from you being a bad trader to your system not being as good as you need it to be yet. And then work on the system. That's it, okay? Now let's keep going here. So every trade is an evaluation, all right? Every time you take a trade, it's a brand new evaluation to figure out if your system is actually good. Once it's successful, once your system is making you consistent money, once you know like what trades you're typically going to lose and what trades you're probably going to consistently win, you then can use real money with it, all right? And at this point, like we should get to the stage where there are no more emotions. Of course, you're going to be upset if you lose a trade. Like we all want to win every single trade. But the emotion of losing a trade should not like spiral you into taking multiple trades, trying to revenge trade and get your money back. It should just be like, dang, okay, I thought I had my system. I thought it was good enough. Maybe I need to rebuild it or rebuild a part of it. But what we're not going to do is sit here and be sulk in our misery of we just lost $1,000 or we just blew up an account, we failed one of our funded accounts and I have to restart. We're not going to sulk in all of that. Like that's silly. That doesn't make any sense. And that doesn't like get you elevated above the trader who doesn't make any money. We want to get away from here, which is not making any money, to up here, which is making money. And the difference typically is the mindset and the shift in emotions and shift responsibility, the shift in the leverage that you're using. Not more capital, systems. Okay, you're not going to use more money to make more money. You're going to use systems to make you more money, and that's what this whole thing is about. So your mentality is, yes, looking at charts and not being overly dramatic about what happens, but more importantly, it's looking at what's going on, looking at your system and saying, okay, I need to fix this one or these 2 parts of my system to be successful. So we're going to get away from the charts and what the chart says changes the way we feel about ourselves and more into this is what my system is, and my system needs to be improved if I want to make more money. That's how you fix your trading mentality. It has nothing to do with, oh, be more patient and this voodoo nonsense. It is straight up like matter of fact, put together a system, test the system, see what's not working, fix that part, and then continue going on from there. I'll see you guys in the next one.